is a phenomenal morning to be at the farm. Word on the streets is there is some stuff that's moving forward a little bit inside the park pertaining to Camp Snoopy. So we're gonna go in there, we're gonna check that out, and then obviously we're gonna go look at the tomb that is Montezuma's Revenge and Accelerator and see if the train is still back there at the little switch station instead of being on the loading platform where it was when they were testing, to see if they moved forward there at all. So they're still working on these walls. Looks like that's going to be an entrance there, and they got another entrance to the side, and then the corners are going to be open. There's a lot of dirt dug up, and they've got the light fixtures there that they're going to be putting up, and then they'll put the glass, the windows, and the doors to the outside. This will end up being a pretty cool courtyard, I think, when it's all done. I think that's what they're doing, right? I would assume that's what they were doing. I mean, it would suck to be in one of those rooms inside and this ends up being like a parking structure or something for littler cars, but I don't think that's what it's going to be. I think this is going to be where the courtyard is. Oh, hard at work back there. Back behind that wall where they had the temporary kiosk, it looks like there's going to be a gift shop there maybe in the foreground here, right there, and then behind it they're working hard on the restaurant, getting that all done. It's going to be so big. There's going to be so much here. This hallway, you forget how big it actually is until they actually open it up. They're still going to do the floor too, obviously. I don't know if they're going to maybe get rid of this flooring and then put something new. That's kind of what I'm hoping. So they removed this back fence here and put some barricades there to funnel the traffic from the front that goes around the front of the hotel to come back to this back lot here. So they're opening the parking back up eventually, probably as soon as this dries. I'm assuming. What does it say over on those little parking spots there? Let's find out. Hotel shuttle parking. Okay, so that's where their shuttles go, which I think that's where they went before, right? Line up all the shuttles there. Those are little spots for shuttles, man. They also got all this grass put in. And the landscaping, as always, looks great around the whole hotel. If you haven't yet, make sure you get over to the Legacy store. You've got less than a week left. Get all your Not Scary Farm stuff. It's shutting down after Halloween when Scary Farm shuts down, so make sure you get there. So basically this entire side of Camp Snoopy is shut down, with the exception of Silly Sidewinder and Flying Ace. And then the Grand Sierra Railroad is open just on weekends because I guess they're doing a lot of work on the track there. I'm pretty sure they use a lot of that space back there to bring in other stuff from outside the park. They use that to funnel things in the La Palma service entrance. So I think they just shut that down to do a lot of work on the weekdays. And then on weekends they can open it back up. And this whole section's still shut down. On both sides, there's no way in or out of here, which is a little iffy. The fact that they're closing down so many parts of this section of the park, and doesn't look like there's any progress on them. Like there doesn't look to be any plan other than shutting them down at this point. It would be a pity to lose this scenery. It also would be a lot to lose all at once. But you know, if they have big plans for something back here in this corner, this is empty space that is, in fact, just scenery. Cedar Fair, they're a theme park operations company, and they're in the business of making roller coasters and making thrill parks. And thrill parks, a lot of times, even if they do have kiddie sections, don't have pretty things to look at around the park very often. That being said, I really hope they don't just make this a cut and paste kind of area back here where they eliminate the charm that Camp Snoopy had, because at that point you're basically, I mean, it looks like they're losing half of Camp Snoopy anyway. If you get rid of this whole middle section, yeah, you open up a lot of room, but you lose this. And while this whole back half of Camp Snoopy is still open, it's not exactly a beacon for foot traffic. There have been rumors that the River Run and mud buggies were going to get taken out. Now we've seen mud buggies go on and off for long periods of time And that's one of those rides where it just doesn't seem like they can get it to work. But I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where if they do take them down, if they do want to put something else here, then can they just relocate those two to a more populated part of Camp Snoopy? Maybe replace the Huff and Puff with the mud buggies, and then put the River Run, or maybe the other way around, put the River Run where Huff and Puff was, and put the mud buggies where Airmail is. I don't know, just thinking out loud at this point. I don't know, I'm just trying to make sense of what's going on in that corner, because more than half of that whole area now seems to be behind walls. And there were rumors that we were going to hear something yesterday, Monday, and we just never did. Which I guess is kind of smart. I don't think we'll hear anything probably until after Scary Farm at this point. I know last week I was saying that this week we'd probably hear something, but there's just too much going on. You know, with the 50th anniversary of Scary Farm, they want to finish strong. And, you know, like I was saying at the Scary Farm review that I did last Wednesday, they seem like they're kind of sputtering out there. I mean, they came out the gates real strong, and they kept that energy for a long time. And I think they're just kind of running on fumes at this point, which is understandable. They're putting a lot into this park for this event, and it makes sense that you know, we're all only human, right? And while there was also no buddy riding Jaguar is like the king of ghost rides. They only like to run one train car at a time. When they have two, which actually, it seems like it's kind of messed up to the guests to be like, why are you running when we're standing in line? But it actually makes sense and helps you get off the ride a lot faster, because then at the end of the ride, you don't have to wait around for them to load the other train car, because the other train car's already taken off. So you do the ride and you get off almost immediately, which is nice because a lot of these rides at Knott's Berry Farm are older, so they're a little uncomfortable to sit in. Like at the end of the ride, you kind of are ready to get out at that point. So, you know, props to Jaguar for figuring it out. I know Ghost Rider will sometimes do that too. Ghost Rider's problem is they always have a long line, so they can't really afford to just start running empty cars. But yeah, since we didn't get any news for Camp Snoopy, we also didn't hear anything about Montezuma either, which is a bit of a shame. I was hoping that we'd hear something about that at this point, but their lips are sealed, which again, I guess makes a little bit of sense, because they don't want to put anything out there unless it's, you know, confirmed and it's concreted. I'm expecting kind of a lot right before Merry Farm. Merry Farm is when they start making all of their announcements for what's going to happen next year. So if anything's going to happen next year, then we'll know about it then. I'm sure this is a ways off from just next year. Whether they're going to tear it down or whether they're going to refurbish it, I don't know. Now there's people riding. That's kind of an unsung hero of Fiesta Village, Jaguar. It's, you know, it's a family coaster, but which surprisingly enough is you have to be 48 inches to ride it. But it kind of sets the vibe for this whole area over here. And the temple looks awesome. So the setting is cool. Anyway, Montezuma, who knows? We'll find out soon, I guess. Maybe. I know I say that every week, but I'm going to keep saying it until we actually do find out. You know, it's not an MVP of Fiesta Village, though. Awesome rides that have just been sitting stagnant for months at a time. I mean, I know Cedar Fair's got to have their priorities in order, but come on. It's crazy to see stuff like this and just not know exactly what the deal is. The last I heard was part, again, needed to be replaced, but I don't even see anybody working on this anymore. It's just sitting here. It's kind of like Montezuma, but I don't see any pieces that need to be replaced. This thing was cracked open like a couple months ago, but it's been closed for a while now. Something smells so good over here. I don't think it's the Taqueria. I think it's Cantina del Sol, because there is exhaust coming out of there. And holy crap, that smells so good. Oh man, that's not good. Spider webs building up in the little box there. It's been a little while since anything's happened here too. I know they were working on it on the other side there, last week when I was here, but no word about anything here yet. Still, I'm gonna miss hearing the sound of the hootenanny going off up in the lumberyard there. This is one of my favorite overlays of any ride at any park. I mean, obviously I grew up with the sweet Haunted Mansion overlay of Nightmare Before Christmas, but there's just something about this that's just so much fun. And I know, God bless them, they're trying here to get this overlay going with the Candy Mountain. It just doesn't hit the same. Although we haven't done it at night, so I don't know. We just did the overlay during the day, and during the day they don't play the whole show there, so we don't know the scary part. I just know that it gets loud in there. Coming up on our last week of Carnival de Grotesque. This show, it wasn't the same as it was. I don't know. Maybe because last year was the first time I had seen it, but it was cool this year. I liked it this year, but it wasn't the same as it was last year. I don't know. The guy that does this thing seemed a little less interested in it. So we have one more week of this, and then what? What comes to this stage during Merry Farm? I don't remember. Is it the Peanuts gang? Do they have a show here during? Because I know Snoopy's got the Snoopy on Ice inside the Walter Knott Theater. So what goes here? Just bands again, like they do in the summer? I don't remember. Somebody remind me. Not much room to walk around here. We also aren't running the train or the goose. Nothing running on the railroad today. Taking a break. Psych. There's the goose right there. Caught me off guard. Well, here's something interesting. Maybe this is why they have the Grand Sierra Railroad closed off on weekdays. What are they doing over here? That's a lot of dirt to be pulling in. They moved their little tents off to the side there. And what is this? What are they doing here? Don't know. This is an interesting little development that we're gonna have to keep our eyes on. It's probably gonna turn out to be nothing. It usually does when I start giving my full attention to something behind the scenes. It usually turns out to be like, oh, we're just putting in a new sign or something like that. But this seems weird to me. Ghost Town's still eerie AF. So I've been eating a lot of the savory stuff with the pizza and the spaghetti and mostly prop shop stuff. So today I decided to go with something sweet. It is the chocolate peanut butter cookie that they have. I got it in the bakery. It is looks like a chocolate chip cookie with M&Ms or Reese's Pieces on it and peanut butter ganache or frosting. Probably frosting. Let's give our taste buds a ride. They're Reese's Pieces. That's a really good cookie. They got them at Charleston Circle or the Marketplace Bakery here outside the park. I hope they keep selling them through the holiday. I'm gonna be really sad if those end up going away. Knott's Charm in full effect. Half a Camp Snoopy behind walls. Montezuma in the dark. Accelerator. No clue. Rest of the park, running like clockwork. It's funny because you walk around the park now, and now I'm just getting like sad because I know this is gonna be one of the last times that I get to see the Scary Farm decorations. And most of the Scary Farm decorations this year rely heavily on it being the 50th anniversary with like, you know, the 50th signs and stuff. So I know that I'm never going to be able to see those again. I'm going to come again probably on Halloween during the day, just because that's usually when I do it. I don't know if they're going to be doing Spooky Farm that day or not. I think they are, but I could be wrong. Either way, this is one of the last times I get to see all that stuff. So till next year. So it makes me a little sad. Other than that, the park is just operating like normal. Good times.